Insane weapons and powerful effects aren't the only way to blast your way through the First Descendant. There are many layers to creating the ultimate character. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. I'm Vulkan, and in this video, we're going to talk about how to rank up your Descendant and then slot in modules to create a build that fits your playstyle. So first things first, let's get started with talking about Descendants and ranking up. So when you unlock and use one of your Descendants, you're going to build up something called Mastery Experience over time. When you fill up your Mastery bar, you can return to town, Albion, and you can perform a Mastery rank up. And if you reach a point where you're going through a mission and your Mastery bar is full, but you need to continue doing what you're doing, you don't have to worry about losing any experience. It just rolls over into the next Mastery rank. Now, once you improve your Mastery rank, you do get some pretty nice bonuses. You get increased module slots, which we'll get to, module capacity, and inventory and storage slots for equipment, giving you a chance to carry even more stuff, which in a looter shooter is always good. So that's what goes into the Mastery process for Descendants. It's incredibly straightforward and easy to understand. Use the Descendant, reach a point where you can level up your Mastery, and then get all the benefits from it. But let's talk about how we can take advantage of those new benefits with something called modules. So modules are items that you can attach to your weapons and your Descendants in order to increase their stats. Now, these are specific to certain weapons and Descendants, so you do need to match the type in order to use them, so please keep that in mind. Now, for weapons, you can equip 6 modules each, which honestly is quite a bit. To view the modules, you just have to hover over the tooltip and then open the modules to see them. And then from here, you can set a preset for each weapon name. Now, this is a little weird, but essentially what this means is if you have a level 1 Devil's Call SMG, and then you find a level 9 Devil's Call SMG, it'll retain the same modules, so you don't need to move anything around, which makes life a little bit easier, especially if you're constantly switching weapons around. Now, whenever you equip a module, you're going to see those applied values on the left, and this gives you sort of a total impact of all of your modules, and that helps you sort of make good decisions, knowing if this module is going to be a net positive or maybe even a net negative. Now, when it comes to Descendant, you do have 6 module slots, but you also have something called a skill module and a sub module. Now, skill modules are going to modify how your skills actually work. So for instance, we can see hypothermia here. This is going to swap VS's Ice Shackle debuff to something called Ice Needle, which ultimately just swaps your crowd control for a damage over time debuff. Now, sub-modules will allow you to perform different melee attacks, so you do have to slot these in order to actually melee. These will also change how melee works. So here's an example of Shock Punch for you to see exactly how this thing kind of stacks up. Now, just like weapons and components, you can also dismantle and enhance modules, which is great. There's a lot of layers of progression in this game, and really, this is just another one of them. When you break down unneeded modules, you're going to get something called Cooper shards. These can be used to enhance modules, as well as gold. You have to have a gold currency in order to do that as well. Now, increasing or enhancing these modules will increase the stats, but it'll also increase the capacity cost, meaning it's going to eat up more space in your module capacity, which may cause you to have to make some sacrificial choices. Do you want to increase the stats and therefore capacity of this particular module, knowing and understanding that you might not be able to equip a different module that you had targeted? Who knows? It's going to come down to your build, your playstyle, and your preferences. Now, this is a quicker video, but before we wrap this one up, we do need to talk about 2 more things, and that's mod sockets and restrictions, because there are some. You can't just slot these modules in willy-nilly. There are some things you have to adhere to. So for mod sockets, just like in Warframe, if you match a mod socket type to a mod socket, then it's going to reduce its capacity cost. You can use this to your advantage to equip more modules. You can see a screenshot here as to how this sort of works. Red is bad and means it's going to be an increased cost because it's not matching, whereas green is good and it's going to give you a reduced cost because you're playing along and you're matching the type to the socket. Now, modules do have some restrictions, like I mentioned. You can only equip 1 module of the same group, meaning you can't equip a lot of attack modules. You can equip 1 attack module, and then from there, 1 accuracy module, so on and so forth. You can also only equip as many modules as your capacity allows, which remember is determined by your mastery rank or by acquiring a crafted material called energy activators. Energy activators can be crafted through your research requests. And guys, that wraps this one up. Like I said, it was a quicker video, but we do have the technical test coming up soon. And I hope this little catch-up series, if you are coming into this video and you want to watch the other ones, I do have a few other videos explaining the Descendants as well as gear and sort of that whole process. Please go check those out. And I hope this has kind of helped you guys either get a refresher of how the game works, or maybe you're new to the First Descendant and this is teaching you sort of the ropes ahead of time. Now, I don't know what to expect for this technical test and beyond, but hopefully a lot of this information remains true. Let me know in the comments below what you think about both this video and the upcoming technical test. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Vulkan, and I'll talk to you next time.